Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals, here with some exclusive content for the ESET UK Masters. This week I'm hyping up all of the finalists because they are pretty awesome. And they've all got through the online qualifiers to earn themselves a place in the grand finals on the 22nd to 25th of March. I'll be there, I'll be casting with a couple of other people, and of course I have got a whole series of videos about the finalists, so make sure you check out the entire playlist, subscribe to the channel for the more that come out. And well, I might as well just get to it and introduce him. He's in the lower right position. He did get through the second open qualifier. He plays for Team Liquid. It is Rhett. And his opponent this game is up in the top left, and he is the Red Terran, Tarson. So Rhett, how did he actually make it through to this? Well, basically, the Open Qualifier 2, he signed up, he was like, you know what, I'll give this a shot, I've heard only good things about the qualifiers, and he had a tough run through the Open Bracket, I'm not going to lie. Out of all the people, I think he possibly had one of the toughest group of people he had to beat to secure one of the seeds. The top two got through, and basically, he took down QXE, Nurtio, MMA, and Mana to get this spot. So that is a fairly formidable bunch of players to take out. So definitely on top form in Heart of the Swarm. I know I've cast quite a few of his games actually. And he had the Razor Replay pack out recently as well, so I've watched a lot of those, and he's been absolutely stunning, so really got things together. And I know a lot of Zerg players have really been struggling against Terrans, so therefore I'm really excited to see just how Rhett does, what he's got together, how he's going to go for it. And of course, he is a veteran of the esports scene. He's 27 now, he was an old Brood War champion and things like that, so really top-notch player. And let us know in the comment section below, in the TL thread and those sort of places, how you think he's going to do come the grand finals. Do you reckon he can get one of the podium spots? I reckon he is a serious contender for at least the top 4. So yeah, do keep an eye out on him and give us your thoughts. And should you want to know the latest information about the tournament and everything like that, of course do check out ESETUKMasters.com or Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Twitch /ESET UK Masters. So nice and simple to find that, and all of my details are up on screen just below where I'm waving my cursor around as well, so you can check me out there. Now, in terms of strategy coming out, Akelon Waste is a big map. Red has gone for a hatchery first, just as you would expect against Terran, and Tarson, he's actually going for a Reaper fairly early on. Now, this means that he can get in the base, he can harass quite a lot, because while they don't deal a huge amount of damage, Zerg players struggle with Reapers until the Queens come out. Once the Queen comes out, it's not too hard because there's a huge range on them and it's generally okay. And it looks like it's just going to come and harass the natural actually by the path it's taken. Going to come up in this way, straight into the mineral line, could get a drone or two, which would be really nice. Transition out of this, it was basically that Reaper into a command center, now the factory, and also I imagine a reactor gonna get chucked down here, and that is all very normal play out of the Terran so far. And as we can see, this single Reaper doing a nice little bit of damage. Good micro by Rhett there, building an extractor with a damage drone. Doesn't quite get to do it twice though, just once was the luck. And now the Reaper getting forced back. Of course, combat truck will allow it to heal up though, so that isn't a massive problem. Just gonna kite these Zerglings, and this is why before Queens get out, it's really effective getting one Reaper, because you can kite nearly everything a Zerg has for a long period of time. Meanwhile, back at base, Tarson, he's going to switch over these, probably get some Hellions out. A third command center coming down really early on as well, so using these mobile units to push Rhett back and take the map control. Rhett should take his own third base up here. The reason he'll take this one as opposed to the lower one is just because A, destructible rocks, B, there's this large chunk of cliff area which you don't really want to have to be running around because it's a big run distance to get all the way through, and just basically reinforcing and defending it can be a bit of a pain. Rhett now is up to those 4 queens, which you nearly always see against Terran players now. It gives you good creep spread and also defense. But to be honest, Tarson, he's looking really solid. He's getting out those Hellions, and I think Rhett could be really struggling here because while he's not getting behind yet, this is just Tarson pulling massively ahead. And Rhett, he's going to take his third base. He's got to start teching up. He's got to start showing what he could be doing in the mid-game. And it's most likely going to be Roach Hydra. That's a great composition. Then going into Vipers for the Blinding Clouds. Tarson hasn't yet revealed whether he's going to be going for medevac, infantry tank style play, or if he's going to be going for just pure mech, which the majority of Terrans are doing at the moment. But just coming in here, Tarson now with those Hellions, sees the third base. I'm not going to be able to do too much about that. Only the requirement for the morph from the Hellion to Hellbat is actually an armory at the moment. So this is on an older patch of the beta where transformation servos haven't yet been implemented. So that could be a bit of a problem for Red as well. So just a lot of things to be really keeping an eye out for. We've got the first tank coming out, some Marines coming out as well, so it could be a tank Marine push imminently hitting. The 4 Hellions just trying to stop the creep spread, but the 2 Queens going to start nudging forward. The bases will start joining up just with a good set of creep there. Double evolution chamber coming down. We've also got that third hatchery nearly complete. Third and fourth gas also on their way. And as we can see here, actually, we do have the Hellions trying to push forward, trying to deny this creep, but the Queens having none of that. They're just like, no, get back, Hellions. You are not doing that sort of shenanigans. So, third and fourth gas also coming down here for Tarson. He's got his first tank out. No additional production facilities, though. So, not going to reveal at all what he's going to be doing. But I doubt it's going to be mech now, because he is getting the 1-1 infantry upgrades. So probably Tank Marine will make up the majority of his force. Red, he's got the lair coming down as well. He's got the melee attack upgrade started, and is now going to get the carapace as well. Unless, of course, he could have gone for the missile attack if he was going for some kind of Ling Roach timing push. But interestingly, getting out the melee and armor upgrades, probably not therefore going to be Roach Hydra mid-game composition. Much more likely going to be a quick tech up into Ultras, which makes things very exciting indeed. We'll need to get some Infestors out for the Fungal Growth to lock down the Terran infantry, but it's a really nice composition actually. It means you want to be aiming to get your hive down, usually before the 11-minute mark. Red now getting up his 5th and 6th gas. The third base is indicating from these rocks getting taken down that Tarson wants to take that relatively soon. Probably going to knock down the watchtower as well. So these two just starting to push forward a little bit more. These two really just looking to expand, get their production cycles through the roof, get as much income as they possibly can muster just to get into the later game stages. The armory is now coming down. We do still have these Lings charging about, just basically getting map vision, but the creep spread is what's really impressive for Red at the moment. It's a wide map, it's a big map, but his map coverage is perfect. Overlord spread out, he's got complete drop protection in his main, he's got creep spread coming down the middle, and also down both avenues around this small little cliff, and as such, he knows precisely when his opponent moves out, where he's going, and how to defend, and that's exactly the sort of dominance you want as a Zerg. And this is actually quite interesting. Red taking this top right base, most Zerg players tend to take this base 4th, so he's still got the option of a relatively quick 5th as well. He is getting the Hydras out, he's also getting out the Infestation Pit. Not quite sure whether that'll be used for Swarm Hosts, or it should probably be for Infestors, because tanks negate the effectiveness of Swarm Hosts due to the splash damage. But as we can see for the time being, Tarson just in a good sieged up position there with the tanks, making sure nothing too much can come in, but a very passive game at the moment. And in terms of the worker count, favouring Ret as it should be at this stage, and Ret, there we go, with the hive out exceptionally early on. That came down at about 10 minutes 40. Which is when you really want it. This infestation bit isn't getting down pathogen glands yet, so no sign of whether it's going to be a couple of infestors. The reason you normally want to get infestors out against a Terran player, even in HotS, if you're going for Ultras, you want to get them locked down. You want to be able to get a fungal growth, lock down the infantry to allow the Ultras to get into position. The 5th base for Ret also on his way out, so he is macroing much up to his reputation. He is a massive macro player. He likes sitting back, just building up a sizable army, getting good tech and good upgrades, so this is nothing that should come as a surprise to anyone watching. Now, really, these two not looking like they want to engage, but just, I want to come back to the creep turret again, because it's absolutely perfect. Ret, he is only at the 12-minute mark, and he's nearly at his opponent's 3rd base. That is seriously fast creep spread and creep generation. Absolutely insane. So, the starport is coming down. So the first medevac's only just now coming out. He's got no medevacs as of yet. The 5th base also now completed. So Red's income is just going to be crazy. He's at 91 drones. So that just means he can pump out a lot of units very, very quickly. His hive is also finished up, and there goes the Ultralisk Cavern starting just now. So he's getting the upgrades done. He's also getting +1 missile attack. So going to be going for some interesting upgrades here. Compare that to the upgrades of Tarson at the moment. He's just got 1-1-2-2, is nearing completion, but not yet, as well as +1 vehicle weapons. And here comes some Vipers as well. And I love this little add-in. These Vipers give you 2 things as a Zerg against Terran. One, you can use them to get abducts down on the tanks to pull them into the Roach Hydra Force or the Hydra Ling Force, whatever you've got, in order to take them out quick. Secondly, you can also use Blinding Cloud over the infantry in the tanks to stop them being able to attack at range. So lots of different ways to use this. Red does need to chuck down some disposable buildings though, just in order to consume the energy and make these Vipers actually be able to do something useful. Most players tend to go for things like extractors or evolution chambers, so that is exactly what we're going to see Red do here, getting that energy up fairly quickly now. going to allow him to get more, and of course a lot more evolution chambers coming down in the center of the map. I did hear a scan go off there. I'm not quite sure what was seen. If anything, just the hive and the ultra cavern, so that should trigger some marauder production, as it does from Tarson at the moment. He needs more marauders out to deal with these ultras, and once he's got all that coming into play, he's going to be very happy. He's going to start looking to move out. Red, though, nearly maxed out, and he doesn't actually have any ultras out yet. Just 111 zerglings sitting around and those 6 vipers, so just ready for the ultra remax, which is a nice little strategy actually, where if you get up a decent bang it should be okay. This creep spread now at Tarson's natural and third base. Like, Tarson can actually see that creep spread from his third orbit command. That is how sick it's got. Creeps having to get forced back with a lot of scans, but of course one creep tumor does remain. That should keep it there, and Ling's now coming in to clean up the rest. So many stims went down on those marines, which basically meant they died for free, and as we can see, the resources lost incredibly low, only a few each side. But I can't help but feel this could potentially go to one big engagement, because Red, he's got a lot of money in the bank and Tarson does not, and if Red is able to deal effectively with this force, and he's getting up set up for a perfect flank here, then actually he could remax on ultras very quickly and suddenly have a very, very powerful army. The Vipers coming in now. Here come down some fungal growths, not fungal growths, blinding clouds on the tanks. All of them becoming suddenly completely ineffective. And you see just how potent this is. The Zerglings streaming in, and without the tank fire, that infantry force gets pretty badly annihilated. And while Red does lose a lot of his force here, he's managed to knock Tarson down. And he lost a lot more than Tarson actually, but still, these 13 ultras coming down behind it, that is the big thing. 13 ultralisks and 38 more lings. They're going to be able to do an insanely high amount of damage. Unfortunately for Red, he did lose the Vipers. They're quite expensive and not something you really want to be just throwing away. But Tarson now is having to remac her up pretty quick, and that was a very, very weak army for Red, just due to being mainly ling heavy. But once you start getting 13 ultras out, with their armor upgrade, with 2-2 upgrades as well, they suddenly start smashing through everything a Terran player has. So this is something that Tarson has to worry about. Red is still up at 82 probes off of these 5 bases. He's got a 6th base up as well now. So that is absolutely insane compared to the 4 of Tarson. And Tarson is going to be behind economically now by quite a bit. And we can see that just that even after Red has completely remaxed with a whole ton of ultras, that he still has a huge, well, a relatively big bank there, which will just get even higher. The tank's trying to edge forward. Tarson being as careful as he can. And that's a wise move, because he knows Red is probably going to remax fairly quickly. But here comes the ultras from the side. A scan will reveal them. And how many marauders are out? Only 9. The tanks can do some good damage, unless, of course, the ultralisks do manage to close off the distance. And now, from both sides, suddenly Tarson is going to get completely surrounded here. This is going to be an absolutely devastating engagement. Blinding cloud going down on the tanks as they siege up. And just look at these ultras clean up everything. Like, hardly any of them actually going down here. Such a great engagement for Red. They're still maxed out, getting 4 more ultras to replace the losses, and these ultralisks just starting to push forward. Absolutely fantastic push right now out of Liquid's player. And as we can see, Tarson running. I don't think there's anything Tarson can actually do here. He's got, I don't believe, any tanks left, not a single one on the field. Only 7 marines and 4 marauders up against 9 ultras and 30 lings. That is completely bonkers, and we can see now these ultralisks just starting to clean up everything, chunking into the production facilities, just giving them hugs, giving all the add-ons hugs. And as we can see, the third base, so many SCVs dying. The natural base, the ultras getting a little bit of a party going on there. The 4th, completely untouched, but what can Tarson do now? He's under 100 supply. Red reinforcements coming in, some more Zerglings as well, and there is the game. Red playing that absolutely brilliantly. That final engagement couldn't have gone any better. He had such a great attack angle and really showing that he is a contender for these grand finals. So let us know in the comments below in the TL thread what you think of Red's play. How's he going to do come the 22nd to 25th of March at the ESET UK Masters Grand Final. Of course, check out esetukmasters.com and all the various social medias and YouTube accounts. All my details are on screen. Thank you for watching. Go check out some of the other finalists and see who you think could be taking the top spot for some of that £10,000 prize pool. I'm Madals, thanks for watching, and bye for now.